do this. I'm not really lesser than her. Is there anyone who actually watches this video who might actually think that my English would be lesser than one? I've never actually, practiced this before. I've never actually done any type of, pre-arranged or premeditated, practices before. This sounds like a paradoxical. Tea is a truly, a poisonous. How healthy our tea consumption is. Tea is a truly healthful or health promoting. Let's try to actually peel up the truth about the tea. That's what I really said. This is exactly the same message that I've already actually mentioned before this, battery would die down. Let me actually repeat this message. My English is not lesser than anyone you might actually suggest because I can actually speak far better than them. I really can actually be a very articulate speaker who knows, a multiple range of vocabulary, who just actually covers all different ranges. And let me actually show you. I don't really need to think about it. This is really ridiculous. I'm actually far faster than I never actually thought about it. Is a tea truly, helpful? And is it really healthy for us to consume tea? At least, tea has, such a reputation in the industry. At least, for those, health lovers, they might actually consume more and more and more tea to promote their health. And at least, to be healthy, tea seems like the one of a kind for us. But, you know what? There could also be the right, dosage, which could actually help us to better fight off diseases and illnesses. Maybe if you ever actually concoct and brew in a tea in a rightful way, then this could truly have a medicinal effect to actually, disempower diseases, probably. But, what's lesser known is, here's a catch. What's lesser known is tea truly contains, lots of, damaging stuff like, pesticide, insecticide, or, many difficult toxins that are unknown. This could actually, truly, depending upon the circumstances, almost always, or, possibly very damning and nefarious to our health, right? So, but the problem is at this moment, how harmful could a tea be? That is a real thingy. The question at this moment that's been at risk is how dangerous the tea culture is. If you ever actually consume more tea, this could actually have a negative impact on our health. Is it really true? Then to what extent? This is really the question. Because, if you ever actually watch the program, in tea leaves are going to be already infected with the heavy dosage of a pesticide and a herbicide, insecticide. This type of, Roundup type of a gift, very poisonous and nefarious and venomous toxins could truly, evoke and provoke a negative effect from our health. So, you have to be very mindful of the downside and side effects of the tea consumption. That's what it is about. Have I been actually, thinking longer than other people? No, I don't think so. My English was fluent and perfectly in good shape, right? It's really kind of, how dangerous in health, when it comes to the Zika virus. If you ever actually watch the Zika virus epidemic in 2015 and 2016, you would actually see that the microencephalia was really the common syndrome experienced by the Zika virus infected, right? If you ever actually watch this heavily pregnant ladies who actually, unfortunately had been affected by the Zika virus by actually being stung by mosquitoes, right? These are actually, caused by the mosquitoes who are actually, virus carriers who would actually, normally bite off or sting, ladies who are likely to be pregnant. If you are actually just a regular normal human being with no pregnancy or no, body in the oven, then you would actually experience no symptoms at all, almost. Just a light fever, that's it. But if you are actually heavily pregnant and you've been actually stung by a mosquito carrying this virus, then your baby would be a microencephalic. Microencephalic means having a small size of brain. Not just simply it's about size. By having a small size of brain, this could actually mean that the intelligence or the deformity of intelligence is expected. Intelligence is significantly deranged or retarded. For that reason, your baby is really kind of irrevocably disabled and handicapped. That's really the very unfortunate aspect of the Zika virus, and especially the Zika virus has something to do with the public sanitation and the public health, because in Brazilian slum and in the ghetto, right, areas, normally what we call the podunks, right, in the podunks of the Brazilian cities, there exist multiple sewers. They're almost untaken care of. They're not actually being dealt properly. So this type of a garbage area is really the very breeding ground for mosquitoes who are carrying virus. from door to door. This is very heartbreaking because these ladies at the time were not actually protected by the mosquito nets. So, when many people try to throw away mosquito nets or, repellent, trying to actually, protect them from any invasion coming from this buzzing, annoying enemies who've been actually, literally, sucking your blood out. It's very annoying, right? You need to have a screen door and a mosquito net that might actually protect you, or you need to have insect repellent to actually repel them away. But the problem is that there are not many resources. Eventually, it could actually bring out the worst. To tell the truth, there has been a generation lost. There are so many households who are actually vulnerably affected by the microencephalia, which literally means a small brain. But the thing is, this is really a serious disease that would actually cause irrevocable consequences by having those children permanently damaged in terms of social functioning and intellectual perception. There's no way you can experience any type of remedy. There is no remedial treatment to actually have them in normalcy. That's very sad. There were so many children who were actually born around the time already, fallen victim and prey to this virus. So, in Brazil, these children are actually called as a lost generation. This is really the downside of the Brazilian Olympic. Was that really the Olympic? Yeah, I think it's the Olympic. It's not really the Brazilian World Cup, right? It was after the Brazilian World Cup. Am I getting it correct? Let me actually think about it. This is something that I can't remember at this moment. I think so. It was after the World Cup. Or, was that one? Yeah, I think so. But let me actually watch this one. Because the World Cup was in 2014. And
August 2016.
August in 2016. Then I was really right. The Olympic was really the era which was coincided with the Zika virus, right? Yeah, it's technically, grammatically, it's much proper for you to say that it coincided with the Olympic Games, right? That's exactly the right sentence. It is coincided with. No, this is properly improper. You should say that way. 2015 already alarmed the outbreak of Zika virus from all different corners of the Brazil through the news media. And this was the beginning of the worldwide spread of Zika virus, what's been called a Zika eventually. And this is a very shocking images from baby with a small brain that could no longer actually function properly, which had been brought to war throughout the media, right? That was really the beginning of the coverage of this horrifying pictures of many babies who are actually heavily affected with this disease, having a small-sized brains. That would actually look like the beginning of misery, right? And especially many people who at the time were needed to travel the region. There was a sense of insecurity. And what is actually known about this disease at this moment, and how serious, the danger is, and, how far it could go in terms of affecting the people by instigating a more and more danger. That means, simply how dangerous is Zika virus truly? Let's try to actually, get the facts straight. How dangerous Zika virus is truly, and how far it could go, and how many people could actually be vulnerable in the outbreak of Zika virus. That's what has been said. It's really easy. Yeah, 2016, truly the Brazilian Olympics, right? Ha ha ha. You know what? I'm actually, not lesser than you. You should actually not miss it. Why one can actually, run with a barefoot. You can actually, you don't really need to actually put on sneakers. You can actually have a simply, bare naked, pair of feet, right? You can do it. But here, actually, written down as a foot, barefoot. So I was actually being, very accurate here. But you can actually, I really don't mind. Any difficult name in the Latin? MRSA. This is really the antibiotics, infection. And I have to say the antibiotic infection. The abscess, in English even abscess. Abscess is literally having a liquid that could actually cause a swollen infection in your brain or in a different organs. And even in English, it's called an abscess. And the MRAS is really the antibiotic syndrome. I used to actually remember the whole initials, but I can no longer actually, bring out this acronym. I'm so sorry, but this is really the typical strain of very resistant bacteria that would be, so powerful to nullify all different effects coming from the regular antibiotic pills. There's no chance, any penicillin or any type of bacteria so far that have been discovered that could, kill this strain of a bacteria off. It's very tough. I don't really know. Breast cancer, researchers are literally research the aluminum and deodorant. That's really deos, deodorant. If you ever actually roll deodorant right under your armpit, and because of the aluminum that has been actually contained, it's really actually really dangerous. She said it's really kind of aluminum. My British teacher actually pronounced it as aluminum. Aluminum. That's what American people actually say that. She said that to me. Aluminum. But she pronounced it more like aluminum. I remember her. Yeah, I don't mind. Weapons against Alzheimer. What's a resistant kind? That's really MRSA. How lethal this is. Toxoplasma. Yeah. I really remember this. She pronounced it aluminum. Yeah. I never had any difficulty. Toxoplasma manipulates the behavior, at least, by animals. This has been proven. Yeah. However, this also actually led to human beings, act in the way by actually, eating off the human entity through the parasites. Would that be possible? Would that also create the equal manipulative dominance by eating up the human system through parasite? Different studies truly actually at least deposit this type of similar thesis. One singular cell, Toxoplasma gondii, in a possible sense, could manipulate our behaviors. That could be possible. Our behavior could actually be subject to manipulation through the invasion of this, a singular cell amoeba like Toxoplasma gondii. I don't really need to.